Have you ever wondered why you lose or gain weight? Well, welcome to the Sharp Fit for Life podcast. I'm Martin Sharp.
Danger Dom.
Danger Dom. And we're episode two already. Can you imagine that?
No, it's gone fast, lad. It's gone fast.
Yeah, a whole entire week. We're on episode 2. But yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting question. It was one that came up over the weekend when I was chatting with some other people. And the kind of question was, why do we lose and gain weight? And not only just why do we lose and gain weight, but actually why do we lose and gain muscle? So I kind of think it's one of those kind of key questions that we have to answer, because if you're in life, and I don't know what it is really, it's anything really, whether you're into doing things like fitness and health, like we're talking about here, whether you're looking at business, etc. Don't you agree that if you cannot understand why something's happening, then you've got a bigger and better chance of actually making a difference?
No, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think definitely looking at that kind of key fundamental questions then can lead on to when you start thinking about what you want to do about it and how you want to make it work, you've got like a fighting chance then of actually making something that's going to work for you.
Yeah, this question's a bit like that flipping, what is that film? Where they're trying to find the answer to the flipping everything. What is that film?
The answer to life, universe, and everything.
Yeah, what's the film now?
Are you thinking of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yeah, that's what's in my head. And the answer's like 21 or something. That's what I feel like I'm playing
42,
right
42. I'm not telling you anything. 42.
That's what it feels like, that, I tell you.
Yeah. Well,
honestly, I thought it was 21. But...
You thought it was 21? Well, it's half. You're halfway there. Just got to teach you the other half.
Yeah. Good analogy.
Definitely. Well, it's an interesting thing, but you're right. It's absolutely spot on with regards to just asking the right questions and you get the right answers. And I think why is always a great question to kind of ask. And well, one of the things to realize is your body is constantly adapting, right? Because you think about it, what you were doing like a year ago is completely different to what you're doing this year. It's because your body's kind of adapted. Not only for the fact of like with your foot injury, but actually when you think about everything else that's going on, you're great as an example, because actually you're coming out of the growth phase, aren't you? You're kind of no longer a kid.
And a lot of people in coronavirus and that will change their lifestyle and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So it'll be affecting a lot of people.
Yeah, and then it's the corona waistline is one of those kind of things that people talk about, because their life adapted. They probably became less active, doing less things effectively, and
maybe more actually than in some cases, because like some people took up sports because of it. I didn't really cycle really, did I? And then in lockdown I did. So
true. Well, you say you didn't cycle. I still remember you cycling with your granddad and things. So
yeah, but like once I grew up a bit, I didn't really.
No, you didn't cycle half as much. You did. So it's all about these adaptations that your body's going through. Now, your body's constantly going through adaptations. Now, if you think about it as a business, your body's like the most amazing worker you'll ever have in your entire life, because it is trying to be the most efficient it possibly can be, and it does that by trying to use the least number of calories. So that means if you're repeating a task over and over again, your body adapts to that. So you get to a position where, if you're a great jumper, for example, you're when you start jumping, you'll probably be rubbish. But actually, after you've done the 10,000 hours or whatever number of jumps that's going to be, you'll be a fantastic jumper.
That phrase. There's a phrase for that.
Yeah,
to become an expert.
10,000 hours.
How many days is that?
Depends on how many hours you put in the day, doesn't it?
No. But how many 24-hour days is that?
Oh, come on, we're not doing this. Not this time of day.
No.
It was inspired this.
Someone Google that and comment it below.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, someone work out how many days, if you were going 24 hours a day, is 10,000 hours.
Yeah, comment it below. I want to know.
Yeah, we just can't do the math right in second in time. But the reality is, you'd never do 24 hours a day, would you? You're going to be doing max 6-8 hours a day, potentially 12 if you're really pushing yourself.
Yeah, you'd be tired though, really.
Yeah.
I did like 5 hours of skating every day. I was dead.
Yeah. But the thing is, can you imagine if you were trying to do 5 hours of skating like 6 months ago when you weren't skating quite as much?
True. Your body adapts, like you're saying.
Your body adapts, absolutely. So you've started to build those muscles, and not only just started to build the muscles around it, but you've also started to get better muscle memory, haven't you?
Yeah, like juggling and stuff. That's muscle memory as well.
Yeah, juggling with your tricks and your turns and your spins and your flips and all that kind of stuff that you do on the skateboard. Yeah. Again, it's all these kind of adaptation things that are kind of going on all the time inside your body. So how do we now bring this back to kind of weight loss and weight gain, because that's what we're talking about here. But it's all the same kind of equation. It's all about this constant adaptation. And if you can get your body into a position where actually you're in a calorie deficit, then your body has to utilize the other material it has available to it to be able to keep surviving, because you need a certain amount of energy just to live and breathe.
So is a calorie deficit good or bad? Because I thought if you're in too much of a calorie deficit, you put on weight when you eat again. So is it good or bad?
Well, it's being very judgmental, isn't it? So
I'm not sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I'm trying to be judgmental now, but
but you try to push it into a good or bad position, and the reality is it can be both. It depends really on what the goals are of the person who's looking to deal with this. So if you, for example, are looking to lose weight, then a calorie deficit's great, because straight away you're going to be in a position where you'll start losing weight. Now, you're absolutely right. If you try to lose weight too quickly, it can cause health problems, it can cause rebound issues, all those kind of things. And the same, if you don't cut enough, then all that happens is your body just adapts to that new level, and you kind of plateau out, and you're in a position where actually you're no longer losing weight. Yeah, so that's giving like an example of how it works from a calorie loss perspective. But coming back to that fundamental question of why are we actually losing weight in the first place? It all comes back down to this whole piece about being efficient. Because if you remember, actually no, even I can't remember this, but tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millennia ago.
Yeah, I definitely can't remember that.
Yeah, definitely can't remember that one.
Around there.
Yeah, thank God. You guys all thought you built pyramids at one point.
Someone will have written a book about it, I'm
sure. Someone will have written a book about it. But we'll go back to that point. Tens of thousands of years ago, food was a lot more scarce for a start off.
Yeah, you have to make curries and that to eat rotten food. That. I've heard that. Might not be true.
Hang on, we're going back a few more millennia than that.
Yeah,
okay, we're getting close. But we're at this position really where food was really scarce. So actually, from an evolutionary perspective, your genome kind of favors the fact that you're able to survive in things like famines and droughts and stuff. So actually, putting on a bit of weight is part of what the body's made to do. It's designed to carry that little bit extra so that it can actually live through those leaner times.
So what about in winter? You're meant to be like, heavy oils are not existing anymore. Did it used to exist? Like get fatter through winter. Like now we've got like heating and stuff, but
yeah, I think it would have kind of existed, absolutely. I mean, you just look in nature these days. You look at, for example, bears that go and hibernate over the winter. They'll stockpile their fat reserves. They eat a lot during the summer months and the autumn, etc., so they can snooze all winter. Get up in the spring and then they start the spring foraging again.
I just got over the hedge in my head, like oh god. Some of my knowledge could be a bit flawed here.
Yeah. Absolutely. The bears are not quite like over the hedge. There's no squirrels invading the fridge and stuff like that. Yeah. Dogs,
bears
maybe.
with shopping carts, actually. Yeah.
I bet. Well, I don't know. I think that probably does happen somewhere, but it's probably not on everyday occurrence, and certainly nothing in nature.
Getting sidetracked again. But...
We're definitely getting sidetracked. But you run to the right kind of point there. Is the fact that during the winter months, you used to harvest time when you wouldn't be able to get as much food, and therefore you would have been living on your fat reserves effectively.
Yeah.
And then when the summer and spring comes and things are actually starting to become more readily available, then you're okay. You can start to live again. And then that's kind of where your body's really been at. It's kind of thinking, actually, well, that's where I am. Now, today, we don't have those kind of issues, other than sometimes when we don't have enough HGV drivers to get the food to the supermarkets and things. The reality is we're in a position where actually food is relatively secure for a large proportion of the world populace, really. And it's just a case of going down, you pick your food up, etc., come home, and that kind of builds this thing that it's actually easy to overeat in some respects, because you don't have this kind of period where you've not got to build some food.
Or very easy to eat the wrong things, though. Very.
Yeah, very easy. I mean, let's face it, readily available food and calorie dense food as well. That's the other kind of key thing. Yeah. So any of these kind of things are going to cause you problems. Whereas what the reality is you want to get yourself into a position where actually you've just got the right amount of food for your body to survive in what you need to do. And that's not just a case of just living and breathing, we're sat here living and breathing where we're utilizing the amount of energy anyway, but it's actually thinking about, how much you're going to utilize for your exercise and things. And it really then becomes a case of how much of a gap you can create between the amount of food that you take in versus the amount of food that you take out. Now, one of the biggest common mistakes, and I fell for this one, because everyone talks about that old platitude, isn't it? Eat less, move more, right? Everyone's heard of that one.
I haven't heard it.
You've not heard of that one?
Eat less,
No
move no.
way.
Never.
So yeah, everyone talks about it. You can find it over every single website, but talk about health and fitness and things, and they basically talk about law of thermodynamics and the idea of you've got to be in this calorie deficit, so you don't consume as much as what you use, so you're utilizing more.
So you shouldn't. So you're saying you need to store some energy. So you need to eat. You're saying don't eat enough, or do you eat too much? Like a little bit too much, or a little bit too less?
Too less. Yeah. But
So you should always be hungry.
Potentially, yeah. If your aim is to lose weight or to lose fat, yes, definitely.
What if it's to build muscle?
Well, if your aim is to build muscle, then you'll potentially cycle it. You'll go through a process where you will actually want to reduce the amount of fat mass that you have on your body, and you want to increase the amount of lean muscle mass that you have on your body.
But do you need the fat to shred to build into muscle?
Yeah, because that's where the energy is going to come from. So you see, things don't just materialize out of nowhere. That's one of those other laws of physics. Is everything has to come from something.
Energy transfer.
Exactly. So you have to take in the right building blocks into your body for it then to metabolize them and then to create the muscle mass that you're looking to be able to use to move forwards. So if you don't have that kind of muscle mass in play, then it might be that actually cutting all the time or reducing the amount of calories that you're having is actually going to be a detriment. So we're looking at the other side of the equation. Because again, we're not talking just about weight loss. Now, the magic comes, can you do weight loss and muscle gain? Yeah, because realistically, when you look at these two things, they look like just opposing factors, don't they, on the same balance sheet? And
juxtaposition.
Yeah, and if life has to balance, then yeah, it's not going to work, is it?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, but you can actually do it. Yeah. But it's all around.
Very controversial statement.
It is absolutely. But it's around how you manage then your calorific intake, the kind of foods that you're eating, etc., and the kind of exercise that you're putting in behind it as well, so that the food that you're bringing in doesn't just go to like empty calories and ends up nowhere. You're actually utilizing that to build more muscle.
Right. So what causes you to lose weight?
So you lose weight by having a calorie deficit. So it's by not eating as much food as what you're utilizing as energy.
And then gain weight is too much food.
Yep.
But on a more scientific level, it's all energy, not food. Like it could be like a drink, it's not food, but it's energy.
Yeah.
So to lose weight, you need a calorie deficit, and to gain weight, you need to be having too much food intake.
Very much. And you're right. Everything you kind of eat and you can consume, your body doesn't care. It doesn't see, a Mars bar as anything different to a packet of crisps, to anything different to a sugary drink, to anything different to a cup of coffee, etc.
Well, the ingredients are different.
The ingredients are different, but your body's going to do exactly the same thing with them. It's going to take those ingredients.
No, but I reckon a Mars bar's got different nutrients in it to a bag of crisps. Because a bag of crisps is like carbs and salt, but Mars bar's like sugar, fat.
Carbs. Yeah.
Sugar's a carb.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not as slow burn as a potato.
No, that's a starchy carb, but it's still a carb.
Yeah, but surely your body knows the difference between a starchy carb and a non.
Well, body, what it does is it's going to take all those kind of nutrients that you're putting into it. It's going to break it down into those kind of building block pieces. So you get in it with your carbs, you get in it with fats, proteins, break it down to amino acids, absolutely. And it utilizes all these kind of components then to rebuild like muscle, to be able to repair yourself if you're injured, to fight off infections and colds and God knows what else that's going on. So all these kind of things are useful at different points in time. So for example, some people say just get rid of carbs. Carbs are bad, and it's not a case of carbs are bad. Sometimes carbs can be really good.
Well, not like rice, because rice is a carbohydrate.
Yeah,
but I'd say you can eat as much rice as you want.
Oh, you can, because you're like bouncing off the walls every like 30 seconds doing this, that, and the other. And the reason why you can eat as much of the rice as you can is because you do so much exercise.
Yeah, but if I have chips, my belly is dying. Yeah. But if I have rice, it's just not dying.
Yeah.
So surely there's a difference there.
Yeah, there's a difference in the kind of protein makeup, and also the fact that the chips will have fats in them as well.
Exactly, so rice is better.
You've been judgmental again,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to be judgmental here, but
the kinds of food's okay. But it is about utilizing them at the right stages. So, for example, if you're going to do lots of exercise, you're going to know you're going to be working out, etc., then carbs are great. You can put them in around the times that you're going to be exercising, and your body will burn off that number of carbs at that point in time, and it'll just use it straight away to be able to fuel the workout that you're doing. And it means then that when it comes down to the rest of the day, if you're not eating carbs, then you'll be able to use that time. It'll utilize things like your stored body fats, or be utilizing the proteins, etc., that you're taking in, or the fats that you're taking in, to convert into it. So still a case of you need to worry about how many calories you're taking in, but the makeup of what those calories are and when you kind of take them in is another kind of really important thing to think about.
Excellent.
Cool. Well, I think we've waxed lyrical enough about this one.
So to wrap up, basically, if you want to lose weight, calorie deficit, and if you want to gain weight, you need, what's the word for opposite of deficit? Overload?
Yeah, increase.
No, it's not an increase though. There's got to be a word when you over a limit.
Yeah, I can't think of it at the moment.
Or whatever the word is for over a limit, that's what it needs to be.
Yeah,
if you
stick that in the comments below
on.
as well. So we want to know how many days it takes to do 10,000 hours if you did it 24 hours a day. And also, what's the opposite of a deficit? In the comments below, because we can't think about it right at this point in time.
Be good to know, but thank you. So yeah.
Right. So, as always, if you found this useful or helpful, then please like, share, subscribe, comment, feedback, etc. is always welcome. If you've got any specific questions you'd like Don and I to talk about or answer, then please send them in. We're quite happy to answer them. And in the meantime, just have an absolutely awesome week ahead. All right.
Yeah. So visit our YouTube channel. It's just Sharp Fit for Life, and then the website if you. I don't know if you just want to visit that or whatever. But yeah, comment below and things like that. But yeah, I'll see you next time.
We're going to have to get tighter at this.
Yeah, a lot.
See you later, guys.